All right, welcome back into this wonderful Shopify tutorial. This time what we're going to do is we're going to talk about products and collections here real quickly. Products really is such an important aspect of this whole thing. If you notice on my previous video, we talked about the introduction of Shopify. I gave kind of like a tour of everything having to do with the admin backend, as well as we didn't talk too much about the front end, but mostly the settings and configurations. And now we're just going to dive deeper to the most important things. And the next most important things is in fact products. We need to make sure that we understand how to install the products into the store, the elements of the products, and finally, how do we then tag the products so that they go into the proper collections or categories. Again, my name is Edwin Anthony, founder and owner of one of the top agencies, Shopify, and also founder of Academy E-commerce. Welcome back. Okay, let's get right to work. So products, remember what I told you guys, that products lives in this database where it's called products. And then as you can see right here, I'm actually uploading some products. You'll notice that some products start to come in and it says zero stock. Okay, we're going to solve some of those problems that a lot of you guys have been having where it's like, hey, I installed it, but I can't see it on the front end of the store. Let's talk about the different attributes, the different columns that we see here. In here, what we see is product. Obviously, we have the product title. Okay, shout outs to my guy OFX Beast. For those guys who are in my membership, I am going to give you guys an opportunity so that you could sell his products too. They're a proven concept. It's easy money. And the best part, it's not from China. It's from the US. So that means the delivery is right away. Okay, so very good stuff here. That's in my membership in the elite course. But going back over here, we have right here where it says on the column products, these are all the product titles. Then we have status. Status means, is this a product that you're kind of just thinking about it, like it's not out yet, or is it something that you're definitely going to sell? Is it for real or is it not? That's what status means. And as you can see, there's a green pill active on each and every one of them. That's what we see here. Status is active. But let's say you're in the future and you're like, no, this is a draft, right? You could always change this so that it could equal to a draft right here, where it's like you're working on it, but you don't want it to come out live into the store. That's basically what that means, okay? So that's what this means, active. And then we have inventory. Inventory is how many do you have on stock with you, right? Right here we see 0 on stock. For those guys who add products for the first time, you might see that inventory by default is 0 at stock. So attention for those who have been trouble doing their Shopifys and it doesn't come out on the front end. I don't see it on the front end of the store. Check to see if it's because it's 0 stock. I don't know why Shopify does that. It's just whatever. Sales channels, by default, you have online store. Then some of you guys might have POS. And then all that other stuff. We're going to go ahead and see what these sales channels are. But as you can see, these are the sales channels: shop, point of sale, and online store. Okay, we'll go over that in a second. Markets, is it in the US? Is it international? Is it in both? That's what that means, markets. Category, what category is it? Is it a walkie-talkie? Is it a shoe? Is it, what is it, right? So by default, we have it set up to office furniture. That's what category means. And then type, okay, it's office furniture, but what type of office furniture? It's a desk, right? Specifically, those attributes are very important because if Google needs to understand what it is, right? And Shopify needs to understand what it is too, then the type is important for you to add for SEO purposes. Finally, vendor. So vendor is who's the supplier. Do you need to add vendor? No. I would say make your business name as the vendor, not literally Shuang Huang from China or something like that. No, you don't need to do that. Vendor is you are the company, right? You're the vendor. If you have licensing deals with other brands where you could resell, right? Like Nike, Adidas, or something like that, then you could put vendor Nike or Adidas. You could do that if you want to. But for the most part, make sure that vendor is your name there. Let's dive now deep inside of the attributes for the product itself. We're going to click on one that's active at the moment. And we have here a product that's called Black and White Steel Frame Desk, which is 48 by 59. Okay, 48 and 59. So it seems like they have more than one attribute. It's either the 48 inch or whatever, and then the 59 version. Okay, so you can see that there's 2 attributes, even though over here it says 60, 59, they just rounded it up. We have the product description, product title, product description, very straightforward. We have some product media, these images. Let's talk about that real quick. Why is there a big box versus these 2 little box? The big box means that it's the primary picture. It's the #1 picture. And then these are the secondary. And from left to right, that's the exact order. Left being first, and then second, and then third. You could, of course, click and hold on these freckles right here, drag and drop to change the sort order. Or you could say, I want this one to be the first one. So I'm going to push this one here, right? And then leave the rest the way that it is. But we're going to leave that right there, okay? So you could change the order as far as which is the default one to show, okay? So that's this on media. We have the category right here, and we have some variants. What are variants? That's probably a new vocabulary you guys might not be used to. All right. Variants is like this. This product right here might not have a variant. Might not, but it might. I believe they do. It comes in different colors, right? But a product that is unique is a product that is a standalone product. It has no variant. For example, maybe, how many examples can I say? I don't know. A phone, or this bottle right here. This bottle is unique to its own, right? It doesn't come in any other color. It doesn't come in any other size. It's unique, no variants, standalone product. But this shirt comes in different colors and it comes in different sizes, right? So variant dimension number 1. Color. What types of colors? Black, gray, green. That's one variant dimension. Variant dimension number 2, sizes. It comes with small, medium, large. That's 2 variant dimensions. You get it? And depending on what you choose, they might differ in prices. So that's what variance means, that it doesn't come in just a singular form, that it comes in multiple forms. That's what variant means. And as you can see right here, this one has 1 variant dimension and it's called size. And what are the sizes? There's the 48 and then the 59. The 48 costs $249, but the 59 costs $299. You see why the variants are important, right? And also, to be exact, what are you selling? I want that specific one. That's why variants are important, okay? Let's go back over here, status. So status, as I told you before, it's either active or it's in draft. Right here, online store. Is it on online store, shop, all this type of stuff right here. We're going to leave that for now. Shop is good in a way, right? But we can talk about that afterwards. Online store is the most important one. This is the one that is going to come out on your store. Insights, this information will give you insights or data once you start getting some more sales. When you have recent sales, it'll give you like some insights about, hey, this is selling a lot or this is not selling a lot. Interesting information. Collections. Collections are like categories. So you know how like when you go to the menu system and you do the drop down and you have like some categories? Shopify calls them collections, okay? And right here, it'll tell you what collection this product currently lives on. But we're also going to talk about tags. Tags is what controls the collections. When you tag a product something, you're saying this has this attribute. It has this attribute. It's an office furniture in this case. You could add whatever as a tag, by the way, but it's what you assign it to be. And it's planning out what collection it's going to go through. Once we go inside of a collection, you're going to see how important these tags play as a role for your products. Right? So tagging, think of it like you're marking it as an attribute, because later on, when you create a collection, you're going to say, create a collection with all products that have the tag this. And then that's why tagging is important. Okay. So tags and collections, make sure you write down the difference between the two. One of them is naming an attribute of a product. The other one is where that product lives inside of a category. That's what that means. Theme template, let's not worry about that. That is a little bit too advanced. We're going to say default product. Let's leave it right there. Finally, we have our variants, like how we said before. In this case, we have 2 variants. If we want to go deep down into the configurations of the variants, you could click on this variant right here. And now you're entering into this new page where it's like, look, this is what it is. This is how much it costs. That's the profit. This is the SKU. Da, 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 da. Do you need to fill this out? No, you don't. Why would that let Shopify know how much is the profit? You know what I mean? I'm gonna take care of my boy. We don't gotta let them know that, right? Okay, so that's what that means right there. That's more for internal purposes. You can write that down on your own, right? Okay, so if you wanted to change a specific attribute such as an SKU, what is an SKU? An SKU is like the social security number of that product. So for example, this product, we know that it's called the black and white steel frame desk. That's the name of the product. But remember, it comes in 2 variants. So if we're just calling it by the name, how do we identify the difference between the white version or the black version, right? Or the white and the red, you get what I mean? How do we differentiate it? We differentiate it by the SKU. The SKU is the unique code that identifies that specific thing. In this specific case, right, we have our client here that wrote CHU BW 1260. But notice this one, it's called 1560. It's the unique identifier of that exact, not just product, but down to the variant level. Okay. And this serves better for like people who have warehouses and logistics in the warehouse, like this customer. That the SKU is very important. But if you're doing drop shipping, yeah, who cares? And it doesn't matter. You don't need to worry about that. But if you're doing your own inventory, make sure that you put SKUs to each and every one of them. Is there a rule for SKUs? No. You could call it however you want, right? But just keep order of it, right? Make sure you do that. We have meta fields. We're not going to care about that. And then we have the search engine listing. How is it going to look like in Google? Right? That's what this is right here towards the end. Now that we understand that, let's look at a product that does not have a variant. This one, Cerebus. Okay, so we have several components right here. We have our prices, Okay. But notice there's no variant, right? There's just the price. And then right here, we can see the inventory and how many units are available. How much does this, is this a physical product? Yes or no? We say yes. Well, then how much does it weigh? The weight is important, especially if you're going to do shipping calculations. There's some products that might not weigh a lot. It might weigh like just a few pounds. And so you might want to do that for shipping purposes. You might say, well, it's just 1 pound, right? Or it's half a pound, right? Because you're using shipping that calculates the cost of your shipping based on how much the item weighs. So if you're selling shirt, clothing, fashion, things that are like very, very light, this might not apply to you, because when you do shipping, you're doing USPS maybe, and it's not based off weight. It's just based off how much you can fit in a box, and then that's how that goes, right? But if it's heavy products like this, you might end up using UPS. The more heavier the product, right, the more cheaper it becomes to ship using UPS. But try shipping a heavy product with USPS or with FedEx. What? That's the shipping topic, right? So in this case, because this chair weighs 30 pounds, you have to put that it weighs 30 pounds. And how much weight should we put it? Like literally when you put it on a scale alone, bare bones, the chair, no. You weigh it as if it's in the box already. It's the shipping, right? It's the packaged weight, not literally what the item weighs. Because that's how, remember, this all has to do with shipping. So make sure that if you're going to put the weight, you can put other attributes right here, as you can see, ounces, kilograms, grams, however you want. You put that information in there. Everything else is the same, like how we discussed before. If you want to create a new product based on a product that already exists, after you enter all this information out, and you're like, oh my goodness, I don't want to add another product by starting brand new, because it's kind of similar to a product that I've already done, right? In that particular case, you take a product that's very similar. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna install a new chair. The description is kind of the same, and it kind of costs the same price too. But I don't want to enter everything out. I just want to kind of like clone it so that I could make minor edits here and there. That's when you do duplicate. You press duplicate right here, and you say, well, what do you want me to carry over? And I'll be like, look, don't carry the pictures, because the pictures is different. Don't carry the SKU code, right? Because that's going to be different. How much inventory quantity? That's up to you. And this one you could get that out as well. And when you post it, right? When you post it, set it as active or set it as a draft. Very self-explanatory. Then right here, you change the name of the product. You say, this is now the Behemoth, right? As an example. You get what I mean? And then it clones everything out so that you could go ahead and just make the edits versus starting all over again. You follow what I mean? That's why this button is important versus you starting from scratch over and over again. If you want to preview, once you're done with all this product settings, you want to preview how it looks in the store, you can press the preview button. And as of right now, we're using the Dawn theme, and it looks very basic, right? So depending on what theme you have published is when this changes. What am I saying again, guys? If you have the Dawn theme and you're experimenting with another theme, the new theme is not going to show until you publish it. So whatever theme that comes out over here, is published is how it's going to show. But if you have a purchase theme right over here, it won't, the product page won't show unless you make that theme go public. In other words, go published. Then go ahead and test it out. That's what I mean by that. Okay. So that's everything having to do with products. Last thing, inventory, right? I want to make sure that I update the inventory here real quick. So let me update this real quick. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so I had to import the inventory because it seems like he has several warehouse locations. So you'll notice right here how the inventory changed. Okay, very important. And the reason for this client is because, again, like I said, he has multiple warehouses, and some warehouses he has this amount of products, some warehouses he has that. But again, I repeat, if you guys are having issues with your products not actually showing on the front end of your store, make sure that the inventory is set to a positive amount. Alternatively, what you could do also is that there's a policy inside of Shopify regarding the inventory available. So if we go right here, I'll show you inside of this specific one right here. It says track quantity. By default, track quantity is enabled. If you're doing drop shipping and you're like, yo, they're infinite, those guys, don't worry about it. So you could disable track quantity and the inventory doesn't matter. You'll just be able to sell. So that is for those who are stuck and saying my product is not showing up on the front end. It's not the silver bullet. It's one of many reasons as to why not. Or you could also check this box right here where it says continue selling when it's out of stock. So you see based on the different locations, how much he has on hand and all this and that and the third. That's what I mean. Okay. So make sure you understand that. But that's one of the issues. I hear so many people complaining about that. They're like, hey, my product is not showing. So first, make sure that it's active. That's number one. Number two, make sure you have positive inventory. Number three, make sure that the product itself is on the online store channel. Make sure that it's there. Okay. Because then otherwise you're going to be like, yo, what's up? I can't see it on the front of my store. And then finally, now we're going to get into the collections itself. Collections, like I told you, there are categories. By default, you're going to see right here where it says homepage. We don't need homepage. So right off the rip, I'm going to click on this one. And what I'm going to do is, let me see, delete the collection because we don't need that, right? And instead, we're going to start creating collections like the customer has it at the moment. He has big and tall gaming products, home office, and then most popular. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start building a few. I'm going to go right here and I'm going to create right here where it's called big and tall, right? As far as the collection, I want it to be automated, right? Let's talk about the different collections type. There's automated and then there's manual. Automated, what it means is that we're relying on conditions to automatically update the collections. I love those collections because there's less human involvement. The less human involvement, the more accurate it could be. But the more human involvement, the more errors we could see. So for that case, not saying manual is bad, right? Automated is the way to go. And I'm going to teach you how to do automated. Manual is good if it's like, let's say, new arrivals. Because new arrivals constantly change, or things that are on sale where you want to kind of like have the liberty to turn on and off very quickly. Manual is the way to go for that, right? So things that are on sale, things that are new arrivals, things that are like for the moment, right? You want to create manual collections. You could browse, add, delete very quickly. Automated, you just want to do things in bulks. That's what we're going to do for this one. We're going to set it up as automated, and here are the conditions. It's telling us what tags are we going to use. We want all products for big and tall to have the big and tall tag on it. So every product that has big and tall, we want to make sure that that's there. I'm going to leave this for now. I'm just going to press save. And once I press save, it should just show something to me. I don't know why it's taking so long. All right. So let's go back to the products. We have to go back to the products and find out exactly which products are going to go inside of that big and tall. And as you can see right here, there's this one product that's called Geo, big and tall executive office chair. This product, as you can see in the tags, he has office furniture, then office, and then big and tall. The one that matters the most is this one right here, big and tall. Okay. So notice how this has a tag called big and tall. They just wrote it like that. That's fine. I have no problems with it. And they have this other product that's also big and tall. It's the Titan 2. So the Titan 2, you could see that it has big and tall right there as well. Now that we have those informations, those are the only two products that are going inside that collection. Let's go and create the collection like we were doing again. And this one is called big and tall. Okay. We're going to go ahead and create automated, and then the tags equals 2. If we click on this, you'll notice that it starts to show all the tags that it recognizes. Not all of them will appear here. So it's always good to either type it yourself or just select from what you see here, right there. So that works great. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and press save. And as we could see, our collection is active on the online store as well as on shop. And we could see now actively that these two products are there. Okay, they're sorted by default as best selling. We don't need to have it set up that way. We could just go right here to where it says best selling and click manually so that we could sort it out what comes out first or second. So if we want Titan to come out first, we'll just go like that and it saves automatically. We don't have to press save. And then we could just press view to just kind of like showcase how that product looks like on the collection. So now we know that the products is showing up on the collection. This doesn't mean that if you're having a problem, you're like, yo, what's up with my collection? It doesn't want to show up. No. At least the collection page is showing that the two products are there. We're halfway there, right? What I mean halfway there is, you remember the first problems? Well, is the status active? Do you have positive inventory? Are the channels enabled, right? In other words, is online store enabled? And do you have the policy checked out? The policy right here, track inventory. Is this impacting you? Make sure that you're checking all those things. Because if you notice that on the collections is not showing up, it's based on one of these factors here. So make sure that you go through all of them. And that's with a variant. Let's look at one that doesn't have a variant. This one doesn't have a variant. So we're going to go right here into this one, track quantity right there. Make sure that that's turned off, or, update your inventory quantity is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. And that's that. So we're going back into collections, and we'll notice that in the collections page is there, but there's one more reason as to why it's not showing up on the front end of your store if you're having one of those problems. We're going to go get to that in a second, but now we know that it's working here. So if you click on this one, you'll see, okay, gaming chair is showing up great. If you go on this one, everything is showing up pretty good here too. No problem. Let's get out of here. Okay. Big and tall, we have 2 collections. Perfect. There's some other collections that we want to go through here. Gaming products is the next collection for him. I want to see what he has going. So we're going to go right here where it says create collection. All right. And I'm going to type in gaming products. Now, as far as the type of names as to what it should be, that's how he named it. You can name it however you want, but this is a whole different ballgame the moment we go SEO. So on my SEO course, I teach you exactly what you need to name it. I'm just showing you the principles as to how to get this set up. SEO is a whole different beast. Okay. So he calls it gaming products. We're going to go right here where it says automatic, and we're going to do game. He has gaming and gaming chair. I'm just going to put gaming. Okay. And now that that's set up, let's just go ahead and press save on that and see how this populates. Look at that. That's good right there. So all the gaming products, whether if it's chairs or tables, they all show up because I set up all my products to say gaming. Let's pretend you guys haven't. One complaint that I receive from people is they're like, yo, if I have to go one by one to do the tags, yo, that's because I got to click inside. I got to go over here. I got to put the tag and press save. Then I got to get out and go to the next one. And then I got to go right here and put the tag. I got you. Don't worry about it. Check this out. No one talks about this, yo. No one talks about it. Check this out. So we want to make bulk changes. Like we want to set, I know that maybe not this one, but this one I want to tag it, but I want to just do 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of like Microsoft Excel, where you kind of like select all or select this range. Bow. I'm going to introduce you guys to the bulk editor. The bulk editor is going to allow you to do that. Right here, I'm going to click on all products. You might have more products than I do. So if you have more than 50 products, there might be a link right here that says click plus 50. Make sure you do that. And once you do that, you see this button right here that says bulk edit. Click on that. It's going to take you to an area of Shopify that looks like Microsoft Excel. And in this place is where we handle bulk tagging all at once. You'll notice that the tag column isn't even there. That's fine. Let's manipulate these columns. Let's go right here where it says columns, and we're going to delete some that we don't need. Like we don't need product category. We don't need vendor. Take that out. Online store, base price. You can leave the base price there if you want to. But the one that we're looking for is tags right here. Boom, tags. And we're going to exit out of that right there, and notice all the pills that says tags. So if you want to bulk tags, right, and you say, okay, I want this guy right here. Look, it acts just like Microsoft Excel. I want this guy right here from that one. And I want to press and hold the shift key. In case if you don't know what the shift key looks like. So press and hold the shift key. And you're going to select the end range because we already selected the first one. How did I get this box blue? I clicked on it. And then I got that box blue. But if I press and hold shift and I click on this one, I have now selected a range. Okay, I'm not expecting you to know Microsoft Excel. I'm pretending like you don't know how to use Microsoft. If you want me to teach you Microsoft Excel so that you could get a job somewhere, you let me know, I'll teach you. Okay, so right here, what we're going to do is you're going to type in, now that you have that range, you can let go of the shift button. You have permission to let go of the shift button. And you're going to click on this first cell right here, and you're going to type in that tag that you want to add. And when you do that tag and press comma, you'll notice that all the tags go in for that series. Okay. So let me see, just for example purposes, I'm going to type test and I'm going to say add test. Notice how test came out here, 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 here. We're not done yet. We have to press save. So when you press save, that's when you'll see and it'll all be done right there. Make sure that when you do tagging, folks, make sure, oh, and you notice how you could bulk delete, right? So I saw test by having that range. I click on X and it erased it for all of them right there to bulk delete as well, right? Make sure that when you make these changes, be very cautious when you make these changes, and also don't forget to press save. There's some people that have probably made changes and they're like, but what happened? You forgot to press save. Gotta press save. Okay, gotta press save. Folks, one minor detail. When you're going through changes like this, it's very important for you guys to install a backup app from the jump. Okay, a backup app, because when we make certain changes like this, sometimes we make mistakes and we might delete a product by accident. We might, oh my goodness, something might have happened. I'm going to leave down in the comments below or on the description of an app that's called Rewind. Yes, I'm affiliated, but for a discount for you, right? So Rewind acts like a DVR or like a time machine for Shopify. It backs up your products, your collections, your theme, your customers, the emails, this, that. It backs up everything. Okay. And it's not even that expensive. It gets expensive when you're making the big dollars. But by that point, your store is really risky, because if something happens when you're making the big bucks, that's going to cost you a lot of money. You know what I mean? If you don't have that app installed. So go down on the description, make sure that you install that, and then proceed with a lot of these things like adding products and this and that, because I've seen some things and they're not cool, especially if you have like developers that jump in and they start doing some things and they mess up your store. Where's the backup? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm telling you. Get that Rewind. Folks at Rewind, I got you back. So Rewind is the way to go. So make sure that right before you install a product, do a backup. Right after you install your products, do another backup, right? So it constantly saves all these backups. You know what I mean? So if something F's up, you go back in time to where things were normal. Okay. All right, guys. So we're going back into collections here real quick. We have 2 collections already installed. We're going to go ahead and look at how we're going to add, let's see here, a manual collection. And a manual collection is so easy, right? Like new arrivals. And I'm going to leave this as manual and press save. And the difference is that we don't have those conditions like how we had before. Instead, we just have like, this interface, and we click on browse. And then for me, I'm like, yeah, I want this one. I want this one, this one, this one, this one, right? And we press add. And then there you have it right there. And of course, don't forget, you could click on sorting and you could say, well, I want the Leviathan to come out first. I want the Neo to come out second, things like that. And of course, you could test it out on how that looks like. And you see how that looks like right there, right? You could, mess around with the sorting. Okay. So new arrivals, like collections like new arrivals, bestsellers another one too, where you could kind of like, you don't have to make it conditional. You can make it like you manually put those products in there. That's what that means. Now notice on the collections page, this column right here, it's called product conditions. Notice over here we have conditions, but this one we don't. So if you ever enter into this collections and you wanted to say which one is tag dependent and which one is not, which one's manual versus which one's automatic. Okay. So the way that you could tell is right here. If it has words right here, it's automatic. If it doesn't, it's manual. If it's blank, it's manual. Okay. And of course, again, you could always delete as you see fit. Okay. The one on homepage, get it out of here because it comes by default. You don't need that. Right. And so on and so forth. So what we're going to do right here is we're going to change this to what the customer wants. The customer wants this one to be called most popular. And on most popular, he has specific ones, right? I'm going to go right here. And I'm going to deselect some of these here. What does he want? He says he wanted the Titan, Siren. He wanted the Geo. You could fast forward on this if you want on the video. Cerebus, Hodag, New Gen, Black and White. Those are it. Okay, he wanted all of these. And he wants it in the order where Titan comes out first, then Siren, right? Then Geo, right? Hodag, New Gen, Black and White, and then Cerebus' Nest. Okay, we're going to go and press save just in case. Okay, and those are our collections, our starting lineup of collections. Great, guys. So we have sorted out products. We got to learn about products. All right. We got to learn about collections, how to make the collections. Okay. You probably might be thinking, yo, but what about the color swatches? That's deep. Chill. That's deep. What the color swatches, what I mean is that there's some folks that they're selling like, let's say shirts or something like that, and they want like the color swatches to come out. I say it's deep because it depends on the theme that you're using. Color swatches is not something that we could just do off the rip right here. Depending on what type of theme that you use, color swatches play a different role depending on the theme. Not all fit the same size, right? So I have theme tutorials, and on those theme tutorials, depending on which theme you want, right, I teach color swatches. If there is a theme that you're working on, please let me know, because based on everybody telling me what themes that they're working on, I'm going to choose the common denominator. I'm like, yo, everybody's asking for this theme. And so I'm going to go in-depth training on a specific theme based on demand. From what I noticed, Impulse is a hot theme. and Out of the Sandbox Turbo is a hot theme. But then you guys, and then Dawn is like the free one, right? And it might not have swatches. It might have swatches, but you guys let me know which ones you guys want. All right. So on the next video, we're going to talk about the main menu navigation, which then completes that issue of my products are not showing up. Okay. So in the part 3, we're going to talk about the main menu system and how to get those collections working on the main menu navigation so that they could show up on your website. Aside from that, see you in the next one.